What's up guys? Mitch, Dynamite Diesel Products, and today we're working on a special project. We've got my truck, my wife's truck, she races this one, 12 valve Cummins in it, and we're going to be doing an injector change on it. Trying to make some more power, so we're going to change a couple things, and injector wise that's where we're at. So if you want to come over here, we've got a new set of injectors, and this is going to be how you guys get them in the mail. Open up, you're going to have a package listing. This is who built it, and then you'll have your set of injectors. So in this package you'll have your new return washers, and then this is a nut to help you extract the old injectors. Then you'll have, get one of these things out of here, your injector, got the copper already on it, and a new retaining nut. So everything, when you put these together, will have brand new parts. So as a tool list for doing this, we've got us, get this out of the way, we got a 19mm wrench. Pick your flavor, short, stubby, long, whatever. Though this will be for pulling your lines off. 10mm wrench or 10mm socket, whichever flavor. These will be for pulling your return lines. 24mm, this is for pulling the retaining nut. And we've got an inch-pound torque wrench, and we have a foot-pound torque wrench along with 19mm crow's foot, so we can get torque on the line nuts. So let's get started. We've got 19mm, and we'll go ahead and break all these lines loose, which I did beforehand, so you guys didn't have to watch me struggle bus around this turbo. And we're still going to struggle bus on this one. Make sure they're loose and that they'll pop free. Repeat process on your pump. Pop these loose so you guys didn't have to watch me struggle bus around this intake horn. Stock horn, probably gonna have to pull off to get to these, just to make life easier. You'll also have, for these lines, you'll have a hold down clamp here and here. Those will be a 10mm bolt. Loosen those out of the plenum, and your lines will come off if you remove intake horn. This one is easy enough to just lift up and slide. We don't need to take that off. Next, you'll take off your return bolts, which once again, they will be tight. I loosened them, so you don't have to be sitting there painfully watching me loosen them. So we'll pull these out. Number one is always kind of just a little booger. It's just tight to get to. And normally, P-pump guys, you would end up having to take this return line, loosen it off of your filter housing to get it to move. This truck is just set up for easy to work on. So whatever we need to do, easy to get to. Now we'll take 24mm socket that goes over your injector nut. Obviously that's loose. Remove and injector pops out. Now, we send a nut that's specific for either P-pump or VE, threads onto the threads, and it will actually, the best way I can do it, put your nut on, take a small pry bar, and you don't have to reef on it, hook it underneath the nut, and it will help you pry an injector out that's been stuck in an engine for a long time. These are brand new, they just popped out. So now, we'll cut, and then we'll go to getting the new ones installed. So on these 12 valve injectors, you'll see this little ball bearing looking thing, and it is an orientation device because these injectors only go one way, right? You need to have your return out for your little return manifold, and in the head there's a spot that ball fits in. So if you do 90 degrees off, fits in, and then it'll give a little clunk down, and it won't move when it's in the right spot. So we'll tighten this nut down, and then grab your torque wrench with your 24mm socket, and we're going to torque these to 44 foot-pounds. So and there you go. So there's torque for one injector. And I lost the seam washer. Where did it go? We'll just reuse one of these ones. Okay, so when your new kit, your injectors, you'll get these new horseshoe coppers. And these, make sure you should have 6 of them. Make sure you got 6 before you get started. And you're going to replace all of these because this is the only thing that seals your return system. So if you have a leak, chances are this is where it's coming from. So we'll put this on. We already did the other ones. Of course, I saved to do number 1, the one you can't hardly get to. There we go. And we'll install all of these banjo bolts. Alright guys, so with the bolts, all your banjo bolts in your return, we're going to now take 10mm socket, our little torque wrench. This is an inch-pound. We're going to take it to 70 inch-pounds on all these little return banjos. Because if you over tighten these, you will break them off in the injector and you will have a very bad time. Right there, there's 70 inch-pounds. That is literally a finger. It does not take much to torque those down. Alright, so the final step we've got, we'll get these lines kind of fished back over and just set on. And these should be very easy to screw on. If they fight you, you're probably not square with them. And you do not want to cross thread these. So you just kind of move them around. They'll move around for you. Make sure they're seated in the top of the injector. There, that one went. That one there was fighting a little bit. Now we're going to leave the injector side, crank them down hand tight, and then just give them a little turn backwards. Because we need some room in the line to bleed air. On the pump side, we're going to go ahead and we're going to run all these down. And we're going to tighten the pump side down. Because we want to be able to pump the air that's in these lines. So we want these tight so we can push fuel and air out, and you will see these start squirting as you crank the engine over. So these lines get torqued 22 foot-pounds. So we're gonna take your crow's foot, put it on your wrench. There you go, 22 foot-pounds. So now from this point, what you'll do once these are all tight, crank the engine over until you start getting a steady squirt of fuel, and then you'll tighten your injector side down. It'll be the same procedure, 22 foot-pounds on each one, and she'll fire up, and that'll be your injector install. So that finishes up this project. Now we'll get this thing fired up here in a minute, and we'll make some dyno hits with it and see where we're at. So yeah, that's the end of this video. So this is Mitch, Dynamite Diesel Products. Thanks.